Have you ever pondered who among the British populace has made the most significant impact on their nation's history? Today we embark on a fascinating expedition, stepping into the past to discover the 10 extraordinary Britons who've significantly shaped their homeland's narrative. From ancient governors to enlightened monarchs, from revolutionary industrialists to compassionate humanitarians, each individual's unique tale of influence and inspiration awaits us. Join us on this captivating journey through time as we explore the footprints left by these remarkable individuals. Our journey commences in the late 1st century with a Roman governor known as Agricola. A military man at heart, Agricola played a monumental role in the Roman invasion of Britain. His military successes were significant, but it was his strategy to Romanize the local population that left an indelible mark on British history. Agricola believed in the power of culture as a tool for conquest. He promoted the Roman lifestyle, encouraging the local population to adopt Roman customs and practices. He introduced Roman laws, architecture, and even the Latin language. This cultural assimilation had a profound impact, shaping the social, political, and economic structure of Britain for centuries to come. It's fascinating to consider how Agricola's influence has echoed through the ages. His efforts to Romanize Britain laid the groundwork for much of the nation's subsequent development. Without Agricola's influence, the Britain we know today could have been remarkably different. Fast forward to the 9th century, we encounter Alfred the Great. As the King of Wessex, Alfred distinguished himself with his successful defense against Viking invasions. His strategic acumen played a significant role in ensuring the survival of his kingdom, sowing the seeds for what would later become a unified England. But Alfred was more than a military leader. He was a visionary who recognized the importance of education in creating a prosperous society. He introduced widespread educational reforms and ordered the translation of important texts into English, making knowledge accessible to more people. Alfred also had a keen understanding of maritime strategy. He established the English Navy, laying the groundwork for Britain's later dominance of the seas. His forward-thinking initiatives transformed his kingdom and set the stage for the English nation as we know it today. Alfred the Great, a monarch whose legacy still echoes in the annals of British history. Moving into the 13th century, we meet King John, a controversial figure whose reign had a profound impact. The name King John often brings to mind images of a tyrant, a monarch who was ruthless and unloved by his subjects. But it's precisely this unpopularity that led to one of the most significant moments in British history. Let's delve into the year 1215, when a group of rebellious barons, fed up with King John's heavy taxation and arbitrary justice, forced him to sign the Magna Carta. This document, though not immediately effective in its time, has come to be seen as a cornerstone of British constitutional law. It laid down principles that even the king was not above the law, that taxes could not be arbitrary, and that justice could not be denied or delayed. In a twist of irony, it was King John's oppressive rule that led to these groundbreaking changes. King John, a figure whose reign inadvertently paved the way for future democratic principles. We now arrive in the 16th century, at the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. Rising to power during a time of religious and political turmoil, Elizabeth skillfully navigated the treacherous waters of diplomacy. Her reign was characterized by a careful balance of power, both at home and abroad. With her sharp intellect and fierce determination, she managed to thwart the formidable Spanish Armada, a triumph that cemented England's status as a global power. Under Elizabeth's rule, England experienced a cultural renaissance. It was an age of exploration and artistic expression, where figures like William Shakespeare and Sir Francis Drake emerged. The arts flourished, science advanced, and exploration expanded the known world. This period, fondly remembered as the Elizabethan era, was a golden age of progress and prosperity. Elizabeth I, the queen whose reign brought about a golden age in British history. As we reach the 18th century, we encounter James Watt, the man who revolutionized the industrial world. Born in Scotland, Watt's story is one of tenacity and innovation. His fascination with steam engines led to a lifelong pursuit of improving this technology. His perseverance bore fruit when he made significant improvements to the existing Newcomen steam engine. Watt introduced a separate condensing chamber, which helped to save energy and make the engine more efficient. This was a game changer, as it allowed industries to move away from relying on water or wind power and instead use steam. These steam-powered machines became the heart of the Industrial Revolution, driving factories, railways and ships, and changing the face of Britain and the world. Watt's contribution was so momentous that the unit of power, the watt, was named in his honor. James Watt, an innovator whose contributions fueled the engines of progress. Moving into the 20th century, we meet Winston Churchill, a man whose leadership was a beacon during Britain's darkest hours. Churchill's tenure as Prime Minister during World War II was indeed a tumultuous one, but it was his unwavering resolve and stirring speeches that galvanized a nation under siege. His speeches, such as "We shall fight on the beaches" and "Their finest hour," are etched in history and continue to inspire generations. His words rallied the British public, giving them the courage to stand against the tyranny of the Axis powers. Beyond his wartime leadership, Churchill also significantly influenced British foreign policy. He foresaw the rise of the Iron Curtain, a term he coined, which symbolized the ideological divide between the East and the West during the Cold War. His vision helped shape the geopolitical landscape of the post-war world. Winston Churchill, a leader whose indomitable spirit guided Britain through its most perilous times. Our journey concludes in the late 20th century with the beloved Princess Diana. Known as the People's Princess, Diana's humanitarian efforts left an indelible mark on the world. She used her high-profile role to champion causes that were once shrouded in stigma and fear. In the face of the AIDS epidemic, she publicly challenged the misconceptions, fearlessly shaking hands with AIDS patients, demonstrating compassion and understanding. But her humanitarian work didn't stop there. Diana also brought global attention to the deadly issue of landmines, even walking through a minefield in Angola to highlight the dangers faced by local communities. She used her influence to fight for a landmine ban, a cause that still echoes today. Her efforts not only revolutionized public attitudes towards these issues, but also reshaped the British monarchy. She redefined what it meant to be royal, bringing a touch of humanity and empathy into an institution known for its rigidity. Princess Diana, a figure who used her position to make the world a better place. These individuals from different eras and walks of life have all left their mark on British history. From Agricola's governance, Alfred's Enlightenment, to King John's Magna Carta, Elizabeth's golden reign, Watt's industrial innovation, Churchill's wartime leadership, and Diana's humanitarianism, each has contributed uniquely and significantly. Their actions, their decisions, their courage, and their compassion have influenced not just their times, but the course of history. As we step off this time machine, we realize that these individuals have not only shaped Britain, but in many ways, the world we live in today.